I welcome you all in this video where the concept of circular flow of income will be explained. After watching this video, you will be able to identify the factors of production, explain the concept of factor payments or factor incomes, explain the concept of circular flow of income. Let us first understand the process of production. For satisfying our needs and wants, we need goods and services. Few goods are provided by the nature, but for others, we have to rely on some producers who will produce goods like car, shoes, shirt, or a burger. So it is clear that we need producers in an economy. The output of these producers can be in the form of goods and services. To produce these goods and services, certain inputs are required. So, can you think of any input which is required to produce a shirt? So, these inputs can be men, money, material, method, or a machinery. And the combination of these inputs are used to produce a particular shirt or some goods or services. Production is the process of converting these inputs into outputs, or we can say it include all those activities which can transform these inputs into some output, which is some goods and services. In economics, we study four major factors of production. The first one is land, then we have labor, capital, and fourth one is entrepreneurship or an enterprise. For providing these factors of production, we get factor incomes from the business firms. Those who are providing land to the business organizations, they will get rent for it. Those who are providing labor, they will get wages for it. Those who are providing their capital to these business organizations, they will get interest for it. And a person who is combining these resources, who is an entrepreneur, he will get profits for it. In a circular flow of income, we will study different sectors and how these sectors interact with each other. First, we will study the first two important sectors, households and firms, and how households and firms interact with each other. Then we will introduce the third sector, which is government, and then we will introduce the fourth sector, which is a foreign sector.
In economics, in every model, we have certain assumptions. So let us try to understand certain assumptions of a two-sector model. The first one is that there are only two sectors in the economy, which is households and firms, which are interacting with each other. The second important assumption is that these households do not save, which means whatever factor income they are receiving from these firms, they are utilizing it for buying certain goods and services. The third one is that there is no government, or even if the government is present, it does not perform any economic function, it does not tax, it does not spend, and it does not consume. The another important assumption is the economy is the closed one. That means there is no foreign trade. Neither we are importing the goods and services from the outside world, nor we are exporting the goods and services to the outside world. The next one is that there are no corporate savings or retained earnings, which means whatever is being received by these business firms by selling the goods and services, they utilize that money for paying it for the factor payments or factor incomes to the households. And the last one is prices of all goods and services, supply of labor and capital, and the state of production, technology are given and remain constant. To produce any good or a service, we need some producers in the market. For example, say we have different organizations or firms which are involved in the production of goods and services. So now, to produce these goods and services, these organizations or business firms need some factors of production, which is they need some land, labor, capital, and organization. which is sometimes known as entrepreneurship. Now, who will provide these factors of production? For this, we have households in an economy. These households provide these factors of production to the organizations or business firms in the form of land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. As a result, these business firms will start operating, they will produce different goods and services. Now, for providing these factors of production to these organizations and business firms, these business firms will pay back to the households in the form of factor incomes. Those who have provided land, they will get the rent for it. Those who have provided labor, they will get wages for it. Those who have provided capital, they will get interest for it. And those who have provided the entrepreneurship skills, those who are the owners of the organization, they will get profits for these services. So for all these factors of productions, we have factor income. So the households are providing factor of production to the business firms and are in return getting the factor payments or factor incomes in the form of rent, wages, interest, and profit. This movement of factor of production from the households to the business firms and movement of factor income or factor payments from the business firms to the households is known as the movement in factor market. After receiving the factor of production like land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship or organization, these business firms produce various goods and services. Now the question is what they will do with these goods and services. It is but obvious that they will sell these goods and services in the market. And these households, they will buy the goods and services. So whatever good you have produced, being it watch, maybe a shoe, maybe a pen, maybe any other commodity or a service, these household will buy these goods and services produced by these business firms for their daily requirements. Now, when they are receiving the goods and services, these households pay back to these organizations some money for buying these goods and services. This movement of goods and services from the business firms to the households and money from the households to the business firms is known as movement in the product or commodity market. Now, let us understand how the money is flowing in an economy. And if you just pay your attention on the red circle, first, the business firms are paying the households in the form of factor incomes, which is in the form of rent, wages, interest, and profits, because they have provided factor of production to these business organizations. Now, the money received from these business firms will be utilized for buying some goods and services. And again, some goods and services will be bought from these business organizations, and money will again go back to these business organizations. So this money will be utilized by these business firms for again paying the rent, wages, interest or profits to their workers in the form of factor incomes. And again money will come to the households, which will be further utilized for making the payments for goods and services from some other business organizations in an economy. Now this red circle shows you how the money is flowing in an economy, and that is the reason it is known as money flow. But if you see the blue circle, first, these households are providing factor of production, land, labor, capital and organization to the business firms. And what these business firms are doing, they are selling goods and services to these households. So again and again this circle will keep on going, and this movement in the blue circle is known as real flow, where real goods and services are transferred from one sector to another. This flow of income from the business firms to the households and from the households to the business firms will keep on going in a circular flow. That is the reason we call it circular flow of income in a two sector model.
The product and money flow shown in the two-sector model assume that there are neither withdrawals from the economy nor there are injections into the economy. Now let us understand what do we mean by withdrawal and injections. Withdrawal means withholding money incomes as idle cash. For example, withdrawal is an amount set aside by the households as a provision for old age or as a security against the job loss. It is important to note that these withdrawals are not savings, as the savings are ultimately returned to the circular flow of income in the form of investment expenditures. These withdrawals reduce the circular flow of income, and these are also called leakages in a circular flow of income. Injections, on the other hand, are the amount spent by the households or business units in addition to their current incomes generated within the economy. For example, households may use their past savings and firms may use their accumulated savings of the past or may take a loan from the banks. Injections increase the size of the flow in the circular flow of income. Let us now understand withdrawals and injections in a circular flow of income. In a two-sector model, we have studied how households and firms interact with each other and how the money is flowing in an economy. Now let us introduce few more sectors. In a capital market where we have banks and financial institutions, these households do not consume all the factor income for paying for the goods and services. Rather, they save some amount in these banks and financial institutions for their future. Now, this amount is going out of this circular flow of income, and this is how these households and banks interact with each other. Now, when we talk about the business organizations, they do take business loans from these banks or financial institutions, or we can say these bigger financial institutions do invest in these firms. Now, let us introduce the government and see how the households and government interact with each other. The government charges taxes from these households and business firms, and the money is going out of this circular flow and is known as the withdrawal. And when we talk about the interaction between these firms and government, they have government expenditure. They provide you free hospitals, free roads, and some goods and services for which they hire the services of these firms. The fourth important sector is the foreign sector or abroad. These households are importing goods and services from the foreign sector and are making expenditure, which is going out of the original circular flow of income. When we talk about the firms and abroad, these business organizations are exporting goods and services to the foreign sector and are earning good amount of income. And that money is coming to the circular flow of income and is known as the injections. These red lines, which are resulting in the withdrawal of income from the circular flow of income, are known as withdrawals, whereas these green lines, which are resulting in the injection of income in the circular flow of income, are known as injections. This complete model is known as circular flow of income in a four-sector model. Now let us check what we have learned in this video with the help of some multiple choice questions. And the question number one is, which of the following is not a factor of production? And your options are A. Land, B. Labor, C. Goods and services, D. Capital. And the right answer is C. Goods and services. Which of the following factor income you will receive for providing capital? And your options are A. Rent, B. Wages, C. Interest, D. Profits. And the right answer is C. Interest. Which of the following is not one of the sector in a circular flow of income? A. Households, B. Government, C. Firms, D. Educational institutions. And the right answer is educational institutions. Which of the following is an example of withdrawals from a circular flow of income? A. Investments. B. Exports. C. Amount set aside for old age or as a security against job loss. D. All of the above. And the right answer is C. Amount set aside for old age or as a security against job loss. Thank you for watching this video.